Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Corey Ballmeister.
And, oh God, I literally just forgot your name.
We got Josh in the booth. Josh. Say what's up, Josh.
I'm sorry, Josh. What's up, Josh? Just blanked on your name. Josh is relatively new. How long have you been here?
I've only been here for about a month, so
okay.
It's not
I don't
bad.
feel as bad. A month is
Josh, just
rough.
so you know, I knew your name, and I really appreciate you.
And I appreciate that, Corey.
Josh has a new favorite.
I mean, I assumed you were already his favorite.
Yeah, all right.
That's typically how it works.
All right.
Sorry about that, Josh, but he will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure you tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. We don't have any tournaments to prepare for because of, CDC regulations or recommendations because of the COVID-19 outbreak. So we're kind of taking this time to explore maybe some of the unsung decks of Modern, or as we say, fun decks of Modern.
Exactly.
Basically, for its entire history, Modern has been a format that has allowed a lot of these really fun, cool Tier 2 decks. Certain people really latch onto them and become like champions for them. They're usually, you're not going to see them show up at every single tournament, but when the metagame gets right for them, they can be really good choices because nobody is really prepared, to take on these decks. Often their sideboards are unprepared for them. So there's a huge swath of them, and we're going to feature a lot of them today.
Yeah, and I will say one exception to this is probably the deck that I'm playing. Dylan Donegan has been championing this mostly Simic, Wurzo, I don't know. Erosa, whatever.
I can't imagine that's what we'll be calling it.
No way. It's a Simic Urza deck that has Uro, but the synergies that you have from like Emery flipping over Urza to be able to escape it, there's a lot of really cool things happening in this deck, and I definitely think this deck is tier 1, but it is something that's not being played by a lot of people outside of the Lotus Box community, and mainly Dylan, but Dylan's just been dominating with this deck, and I think it's a staple, but yeah, we do have a lot of decks that we will say are not exactly staples moving forward.
Starting with the deck that I am playing, this is an Izzy Delver deck that actually took 10th place at the most recent MTGO PTQ. So really strong finish there, 6-2 in the Swiss on the cusp of that top 8.
Ross has been talking about this deck since he saw it like a week ago. Just any opportunity to be like, I need to play this on Versus Live. So luckily we found a perfect one for you.
This list is even different than other Izzy Delver lists, right?
Yep.
You do not see Terramander very often in these decks. I love the card
Scary Terry,
I just love it.
Oh, so. Me too. I mean, honestly, one of my favorite Mythic Championship decks was Mythic Championship 1, just mono blue tempo.
I played that deck in that tournament.
Oh God, it was so good. It was so good.
Put up my best finish ever at an MC/PT.
I believe it. But I mean, yes, Terramander is one card that just has not seen play outside of that. It just completely died off, and it didn't make sense to me. It is such a powerful 1-drop, but yeah, there's just spells are not really at their height, at least in standard, so, and that was where Terramander was seeing a decent amount of play and had a decent amount of trajectory to actually be a good standard staple, but just never really got there.
Really just saw play in the one deck in standard, like you said, and then in older formats, there tends to be, more powerful graveyard synergies to be building around, whether that's Uro now or, various dredge decks and, different Emery synergies, anything like that.
And it forces you to build your deck in such a way that maybe isn't always ideal. Just all spells, usually not the way you want to do it. You want to play planeswalkers, you want to play creatures. But
one of the things that I really think is really good about this deck is the power of Force of Negation. And no deck uses Force of Negation better than Izzy Delver. Being able to play a turn 2 Young Pyromancer, which is another key threat in the deck, have Force of Negation for their removal spell, and then if they untap, you can either, counter it in some other way with your 2 mana, or cast an Opt or a Thought Scour, and at least get a little bit of value out of your Young Pyromancer before it dies.
You're not biased to Young Pyromancer, right? Okay, I knew it.
It's really, really important. So I really think Force of Negation is the card that has made this deck even remotely viable, and there are certain metagames where it works quite well, and I think it's pretty good against Titan decks. And other big mana decks.
Okay. I would think it'd be bad against those.
No, tempo against ramp strategically tends to favor tempo decks.
True.
And you're able to, play some Blood Moons in your sideboard pretty easily.
And I guess Aether Gust for them, to avoid the cavern. That makes sense.
And then you're reasonable against control decks as well, which we're seeing a lot of play. Now, granted, those decks are really powerful. I do think Uro is an issue for this deck. So you're going to see some Mystical Disputes in the sideboard to help there. and Relic of Progenitus. So Uro specifically is a problem.
Yeah.
But control decks in general are pretty good for tempo decks, right? They want to play against control and ramp. What they don't want to play against is low to the ground aggressive decks. Like I don't want to play against humans and burn, and those are the decks that aren't seeing as much play right now.
Yeah,
So
and I think mainly because of Uro. Like Modern is unfortunately, I wouldn't say unfortunately because it's a different dynamic than we've really seen. I think Modern is being dominated by control right now. I think control is just better than everything, and that is a very weird thing to think about. And and I think Urza Land players are just saying, wait, control's good? Tron, we ready? You know, I mean, Tron has always been the fun police that has kept control in check, but you know, I mean, we haven't seen it quite yet. E-Tron is popping up, and we were talking about Mono Green Tron actually seeing a comeback a little bit, and it would make a lot more sense if that becomes more of the norm.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's what I'm expecting. That's the direction I think Modern is moving in, and that's all good for Izzy Delver. So this deck, you know, I'm not going to lie, it's underpowered relative to the rest of the field, but it is in a good spot in the metagame, and so it's definitely a deck that, you know, you can bring to a tournament and have a good chance of winning. You know, 6 months from now, that's probably not going to be the case. This is a kind of a short-term deck. You take advantage of the times when it's viable, and that's kind of true of all the decks we're playing today. That's what a Tier 2 deck is.
Exactly.
But they're super fun, definitely appropriate for your FNMs, you know, maybe once those fire back up again.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, you know, just to have a little fun with on.
Now it's just FNMO, Friday Night Magic Online.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
You know, have some fun in a league or two. This is a cool deck, especially, you know, if you're using one of the, you know, borrow systems, if you have one of those accounts and you can just switch decks a lot. You know, these are definitely cool decks to try out.
And I may just have to give you a little spoiler. One of my favorite decks underneath the sun. It will be my third deck here. I'm not going to spoil it to you, but it's
if you've watched any amount of Versus Live in the last 6 months,
or if you just know me as a person, you will know probably what it is, but it's exciting.
Okay.
All right, shall we get started?
Let's get into it.
All right.
I see some marbles on your side, so my tempo deck gets to be on the play.
Lucky.
That is always appreciated.
You just threw Versus Live last time just so you could have that,
That
right?
is generally what I do. Throw Versus Live. It's kind of my modus operandi.
There we go. Okay, how's your hand?
It is perfectly fine.
Yeah, mine's reasonable as well. We got a good mix of lands, some disruption. I think this is ideal.
Okay, I'll start with a Scalding Tarn.
Okay.
Go to 19. Oh, this takes me back.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to guess this is a Delver.
I'm casting a Serum Visions.
Oh,
This is much more Is It Phoenixy.
Okay,
That's what I'm referencing. Just turn one, crack a Scalding Tarn, get an island, play Serum Visions.
You're at home, aren't you?
Yeah, that's all I ever want to be doing.
You are at home.
Maybe Snapcast a few bolts.
God.
You know.
Just really powerful stuff here for Modern.
Yep. Okay, so we draw that. We scry 2. I think... Actually, because we have this, I think we can afford to draw another land and make sure we don't stumble at all.
Okay.
And actually, I'm going to take this one.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right, and I'm going to do what brings me to feeling at home here, just Island Astrolabe. Me and Astrolabe have had a very good relationship here in the last however long. All right, then I'm going to go Bobble and pass to you.
Okay. I will play a Scalding Tarn and pass the turn.
Okay. Do I want to crack Bobble is the question. I don't really have a play, or I already have a play pretty much lined up next turn, so I think I can wait on it. We'll go with a Misty and pass to you.
And Steph, I'll crack this.
Okay.
I'm going to go to 16 and get a Steam Vents this time.
Steam Vents, okay.
Set up a red mana.
All right,
this deck usually only needs one red source. Sometimes you need a second. So
were you taking 3 here?
Yeah, I'm taking 3, so I'm down to 16.
Okay.
2 fetches and a shock.
Sure.
Classic Modern.
Classic Modern. Started the game at 15.
We're seeing a little bit less of that post Astrolabe.
Yeah, no kidding.
Plans.
Astrolabe has, and honestly, I think that's one main. This is probably the worst card for burn, which is so weird. It's just an artifact, but you know, it just makes the mana bases so smooth, where normally they wouldn't be.
It was also bad for humans too, because that's part of the reason why Engineered Explosives is seeing so much more play.
That's fair.
I'll Thought Scour myself.
Okay.
So. Always want to start with the cantrip where we don't make a decision before casting the one where we do. Just gives us the most information.
Makes sense. That resolves.
I will opt, and yeah, we'll keep that.
Okay.
Can I still go to my turn?
Go ahead.
Okay, Spiral of Canal and pass.
All right. I am going to bobble myself, try to get a little bit more info.
Has the fetch land there in case he wants to get rid of it.
We already have one of these, so I don't really want this. We're going to sack this.
16-19.
All right. Probably just want a breeding pool here. I'm just double checking. Okay, so I do have one Sanctuary. This is not necessarily a Sanctuary deck, but you do have access to it just in case you want to.
Yeah. The first copy is really easy to put in your deck.
Exactly, yeah. Beyond that, you know, I've just seen a lot of decks that have been playing 4, and I do think that is a little extreme. All right, so draw for bobble, draw for turn. Okay, now I think we just want to deploy some more artifacts here. So Astrolabe, draw, bobble,
Yep.
Misty, and pass to you.
On your end step, I will play Vendilion Click.
Vendilion Click, huh? I'm not a huge fan of that. Now, you do have Force and Negation possible if I go for a counterspell here. I don't know if I necessarily should. This kind of smells like bait to me, so that you can have a good turn next turn, but we're going to use this while we still can. I'm going to actually tap these. Yeah.
Okay. Go to my turn.
Okay.
I will play a Flooded Strand and pass.
And pass. Okay.
Was not bait. Going to be really happy if you just let that resolve.
Just needed it, huh? Okay. I'm going to crack this down to 18.
Yep.
And we'll get the Steam Vents on this one. Then we do have Sanctuary Online in case we want to do that. I think I do have a Steam Vents. There we go. All right. All right, so a lot of mana from a Izzy Delver deck here. Probably unlikely for me to resolve a very impactful spell. So I think we'll just go with a Delta and pass to you.
End step, crack the Strand.
Okay.
I'm at 15 now. Get a basic island.
Alrighty.
Oh, there's one right on top.
How convenient.
For you and the clock. You got 5 in hand over there?
I have 5. All the cards. We've been doing a lot of staring at each other.
Yeah. I will just cast an Opt.
I'll just let it resolve.
I don't want to rebuke that one.
No, I think I'll let that one. I'll let that one go.
Okay. It's an awkward time to draw that card, but I still think it's worth drawing.
Okay.
Still go to my turn?
I could bobble here, so I could draw some, but I got enough to do, so I'm going to pass to you. It's a consideration, though.
Okay. Fiery Islet.
Okay.
Young Pyromancer.
Young Pyro. Okay. Think I'm okay with this. And then try to do this on it a little bit later. Yeah, that resolves.
Pass the turn.
All right, I'm going to attempt a Galvanic Blast.
Yep.
All right, and then I'm going to bobble myself. I would like that. So we're just going to draw that. Draw 2. Okay, now our hand is starting to develop quite nicely. Still can't do anything too crazy this turn. So I think I'm just going to go land and pass to you.
Still with 5 in hand?
Yep.
End of turn, crack the Islet.
Okay. I feel like this Simic Urza list is not necessarily in the, not looking to play the control route, but it definitely has that option, and I think that's what makes a great Urza deck. You know, when we played Teamer Urza, we were able to play the control deck and then also be an experimental Frenzy deck. You know, that was good times.
Yeah. Frenzy was nice in that deck.
Frenzy was nice in that deck.
A lot less nice post-Opal ban.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to play a Delver of Secrets.
A Delver? Okay.
Then I will pass the turn.
I'm going to go with end step, attempt to gain control. Figure that's better than countering it.
Sure.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna sack this.
Brings you to 17.
Yep. And see if we have any more duels to get, or we could just get a Mystic Sanctuary. That's kind of cute. I got a Sanctuary, put Charm on top. I think my Delver might flip. Is that good?
Yep.
All right. Untap. Flip Delver.
Trigger on the stack. Let's bolt it.
Trigger on the stack. Bolt it. Huh? That's interesting, because you probably have a decent amount of removal, so it's maybe not super correct for me to fight over this. But I think it also is a decent clock, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to counter this.
That resolves.
Okay.
Still trigger on the stack.
Yeah, and then that is kind of the problem area that I could have been faced with, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to draw the Charm.
Yeah.
Sanctuary, I'm going to put Charm back. And pass to you.
End step, let's crack the eyelet.
Okay. Archmage's Charm is a little awkward for Delver. If Delver flips, can I still gain control of it? I don't think so, right?
This has 1 or less, right? Yeah,
I think
so it has...
Oh, it is 1 or less.
And it's still a CMC 1.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. I wasn't sure with EE and Delver. The stuff is always kind of not super intuitive.
Yeah, they used to all... The transform cards used to all have CMC 0 on the other side. They changed that rule to where they have the same CMC front or back.
Okay, okay.
The devotion count changes.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, devotion would be 0 for Delver when it's flipped to whatever.
You have 3 in hand, 1 of which is Charm.
Yep.
Okay, Narset.
Yeah, I'll Charm that.
Pass.
Okay, drawing Charm here. And you have 2 cards?
2 cards.
I think I want to try to actually play something meaningful here, but it does kind of leave the shields down. But it's the upside so high. Urza?
Resolve.
Hooray! Okay, I will get a Matthias, and I'll pass to you. Been just looking for a turn where I could sneak in an Urza here, basically since the beginning of the game.
Yep. I will play a Young Pyromancer.
Young Pyro. It's interesting. I mean, Archmage is charming this. Is okay. You don't have a ton of spells left, so this doesn't feel like it's that big of a deal. I'm just going to let it go.
Okay, I'll play Delver Secrets.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Now it's interesting if I want to take the Delver, hope to gain flying. All right, let's do it.
In response, I'll Sinkhole the Urza.
Pretty good.
Let's remove some lands, I guess.
Okay. It's pretty good, but...
It's not great.
Well, it's not that great with this, but... So you get a token, then I get this.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to untap, take a peek with Delver. Oh, how unlucky.
You don't have a ton of spells.
That's true, that's true. Okay. So...
Yeah, this is unfortunate that Corey's last card was another Urza.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, I'm drawing kind of live to try to take over this game with Pyromancer, but another Urza can immediately start drawing cards with it. The, multiple constructs that are really big. The 1/4 bodies get against me. I'm incredibly far behind at this point.
You're in trouble now. So I'm going to spin with the one that can still attack. All right, so play Uro. That unfortunately... 21? Maybe I missed one.
Yeah.
I'm sure I did. 20, draw... Land for the turn and Emery. 1, 2, 3. Emery flipping over Uros is insane. And then I'll get in there with this. And
4?
Yep.
So I'm at 11.
Okay, your turn. Oh, yeah.
Narset?
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's not bad.
I mean, yeah, that shuts down the Uro attacks and stuff, too.
So let's minus that.
So we got life totals of 20 to 11 right now.
Yeah. I'll take a Serum Visions.
Okay.
I will crack the Tarn. Go to 10.
Okay.
So in case we draw something we want to cast this turn off the Visions, then we don't have to screw up our scry.
Draw something you want, and you want to keep your scry.
Yeah. Plus, I put some cards I like on the bottom of my deck.
All right, all right.
Multiple Terramanders, which would also be pretty good right now.
Wouldn't be bad, yeah. I mean, they're big enough.
I think what I really want is a Lightning Bolt for this Emery.
Yeah, I think you kind of need it because I got EE here. So even if you find like Terramanders, recurring EE seems pretty scary.
Yeah. So we'll play a Serum Visions.
Okay.
A token. And scry 2. Those are both pretty good.
Both pretty good. Has been declared.
Are they good enough?
God, this deck feels good. Maybe Dylan Donegan just did it.
Okay, what's going on here? My tokens effectively block here, which is nice. But your Emery is going to rebuy maybe...
Either Bobble or EE.
Yeah.
EE for 0 wouldn't be my best play.
No. Nor would EE for 3.
Yeah.
But EE on 2 is like
it's
perfectly
okay.
fine.
Yeah. I mean, Uro is probably going to be my step 1 and kind of figure out from there. What I really want is this to flip so I can attack Narset first to draw a card.
Yes, that would be rough beats.
Yep.
This is hard.
Yeah, this isn't easy for you.
I think I don't want this one, but I definitely want this one.
Okay.
I just need to find different cards, and that one helps me to do so.
Okay.
I will...
Got another sinkhole?
I will play Terramander.
Okay. Scary Terry.
Pass the turn.
So that can adapt for just one?
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... yeah, you just tap my thing to kill me.
Oh, yeah. That's nice. That's nice. Drawing Cryptic, flipping Delver, being able to attack, getting Uro, having Cryptic Command backup, bringing EE for 2 to deal with Young Pyromancer, and then still having Cryptic.
Okay. Just tap my thing and kill me.
Or that. But it seemed like a lot more fun to control everything there.
Okay. So that was game 1. We are going to take a short break here, get some sideboarding set up, and then finish this match between Izzy Delver and Team Urza. Welcome back to Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between Izzy Delver and Teamer Urza. On my side, we have a bunch of disputes, which I talked about, for the match.
They're excellent.
Yeah, and these are, they're great in the matchup regardless, but they're just particularly good against Uro. Bringing in the Relics as another nod to Uro and Emery.
Yeah.
With Relic, it's a card that's not going to it's not going to cost me a card. Eventually, I'll cash it in and can really slow down a lot of your primary threats.
One thing I will say about Relic fighting Emery, people have tried to do this to me before, and I think it works against players that are not playing optimally, because there's so many chances where you have like a Bobble in play, and then you mill over like an Astrolabe or something. Like, you always want to leave the Bobble in play and wait for them to Relic you, and then sack Bobble, so you still have that engine going where they still have to deal with Emery. But of course it can get you. Yeah.
If you're playing the Emery and trying to mill over into something to do with it, turn 1 Astrolabe, turn 2 Emery, those kind of draws. Relic is going to help a lot against them.
Yeah.
But also just really helps against Uro.
Yeah, for sure.
Ashiok, similar, also stops Mystic Sanctuary in the end game.
Yep.
And then I'm bringing in the second sinkhole to help against Urza. Spell Snare just doesn't have targets. I don't know if it has a single one.
I don't think it really does. This deck really scales from 1 to 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Force of Negation, your primary threats are now all creatures. I think this card would be a lot better if you were still playing Oko. But you aren't, so I don't think Force of Negation is worthwhile.
No Elkin here.
I'm bringing out the Narsets just because I don't want to be playing a long game in this matchup. Relic can stop Uro, but it's only going to stop it for so long. I only have the 2 Relics. Like, in the long game, you're going to take over eventually.
Sure.
So I don't really want to be playing that game.
And when I'm bringing in this, that seems a little rough.
Yeah, I want to stay aggressive. So the Narsets are coming out. I'm already bringing in another 3-mana sorcery. Then for the last couple slots, I decided to trim 1 Terramander, 1 Remand.
Okay.
I trimmed a creature just to try to keep my spell count high for Delver. Terramander also a little awkward if I have to pop a Relic early.
Yep.
And then I'm trimming 1 remand just because I think it's the weakest counterspell in the deck, and we're bringing in 3 disputes.
I like it. Okay, so from my end, I'm definitely bringing in disputes as well. They're going to be phenomenal from both sides. You know, a lot of games I think are going to be decided by if you can force through a threat with 1 mana open and be able to dispute a counterspell or something. You're going to be way far ahead on either end. As well as we got Veil here, just up against all the counterspells, it's great. It is pretty bad against Magmatic Sinkhole and Lightning Bolts and stuff like that, but still, I think you have enough targets where it's still going to be phenomenal if it ever lands and counters something.
And even if, like, I'm not countering your stuff and you really need to find something, you can just cycle it once I cast a cantrip.
Yeah, exactly. I'm taking out the 1 Spell Bomb. This may be wrong. This one I'm not 100% sure on, because having a Spell Bomb in play when you have a Sinkhole and I, like, play Urza, being able to just tap bounce is pretty big, but early on it's just a liability. We only have 1, so I think it's fine to take out the 1 copy. Cryptic Command is probably the slowest, most clunky spell up against you. I'm leaving in 1 just in case I flip it over with Emery, you know, can bring it back with Sanctuary late game. And then taking out 1 EE, I just never really want to draw 2. You know, I want to have access to them and I want to see them in my graveyard when I have Emery, but I don't want a ton of them. So, okay. All right, let's do it. And Josh, you got any questions for us while we shuffle up for our second game?
Yeah. Does the escape mechanic have meaningful deck building constraints in Modern?
Well, I think you can't overdo it, right? Because the escape mechanic has diminishing returns.
Yeah.
But 1 card I think is great in Modern. You know, 1 Croxa, 1 Uro. I think these are a very awesome way to use your graveyard as a resource where normally it's just a graveyard, you know? So,
yes, and especially with cards like Croxa and Jund. You know, most graveyard hate is not very good against Jund.
Yeah, no.
It's not like they're going to, and they're not going to want to bring in cards that really target it, other than maybe Relic or Nile Spell.
Or Surgical, maybe. I mean, like...
I would not bring in Surgical against Jund.
Yeah, probably not. They're just beating you down too much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You need the ones that get you a card back.
Yeah.
You know, the Nile Spell Bombs and the Relic of Progenitus is. So I think you're actually going to see an increase in those kinds of cards because they're the best way to combat escape cards without having to commit too many resources to stopping them. Because it's so easy to put these escape cards in your deck in a small number, have access to them in a longer game, and then just keep having access to them.
And not even easy to have them. It's like Uro is format defining right now. Yeah. Uro is doing so much more in Modern than Uro is doing in Standard. You know, in Standard, you just don't have the ways to get that many cards into your graveyard. You don't have fetch lands. So in Pioneer and Standard, it's not as big. Pioneer, we still get a decent amount, but you do have to play cards like Grizzly Salvage, Satyr Wayfinder, these cards that are actually just very bad, but they're facilitating because that's how good Uro is. Modern Uro is busted because you're playing cards that aren't bad. They're already just facilitating like Fetch Lands, like Emery, and you're just able to slide in Uros, which is just unbelievable. Thought Scour, another card that's just great that you can play that doesn't, you know, have to facilitate Uro by being a bad card like Grizzly Salvage or Satyr Wayfinder.
Yeah. So there are deck building constraints both, you know, on both sides really because of escape. One is like you can't put too many escape cards in your deck, but that's fine. You don't actually want to anyway because one escape card keeps coming back over and over again.
Yeah.
And we're now seeing just how powerful this mechanic is, and we're going to see a reaction to it from other decks, both with like, you know, Nile Spellbound and Relic of Progenitus, like I said, maybe even Grafdigger's Cage. So that does cost you a card. But also, you know, things like just exile-based removal. We're seeing a big push towards Path to Exile, I think, in Modern, or we should be seeing it, both because it deals, you know, well with these escape creatures, but it also dodges Veil of Summer. So a lot of subtle adjustments being made because of the power of these escape cards, Uro certainly being the top of them.
And one other thing, like, you think that these Nile Spellbomb effects and stuff can get Uro, but here's the thing. If I Emery and I already have 3 cards in my graveyard, you're like, okay, and there's no Uro there, you're like, okay, I don't want to Spellbomb you now, but you Emery, you flip over cards and you have 4 mana, you just escape right away. They don't have a chance. There's no response that you can do from flipping over these cards, you know? I mean, I've even done it where I just Thought Scour myself. I have an Uro, but they're like, or even if I don't have an Uro, if I hit an Uro, it's coming into play, and it's really tough to actually have removal that targets it. But like you said, you don't want to play Leyline because the rest of the deck will just kill you, you know? I mean, these decks aren't just Uro decks. You know, they're control decks, or they're progressive Uro, or they're proactive Uro decks. or proactive Urza decks, excuse me, where they're still killing with another thing, but then they have this element. So,
and that really is the power of Escape. It doesn't demand much of you in the formats where you can easily fill your graveyard like Modern.
Yeah.
So, it really is demonstrating its power right now. And if you try to Rest in Peace or Leyline them, like, it's not like the Uros sits dead in their hand once you do that, like they're playing Dredge. They just cycle it, gain 3 life, get a card.
Yeah.
You're down a
It's
card.
a nice growth spiral. Yeah. The card's insane right now. And hopefully it's going to be insane in this specific game where I beat you with it.
I'm hoping for a little bit different.
All right, my hand's pretty nice. How about you, Mr. Ross Merriam?
Really wish I had an early threat in this hand, but we got a bunch of cantrips to dig through our deck, so I think it's a keep.
Yeah, this is a keep for me. I like this.
I'll start on a Tarn and pass.
Okay. It's a pretty good card. So we're going to go like this. I'm going to sag and take 3 here. Get a breeding pool.
17.
And actually, I take that back. I'm going to go to 19. So I had a choice between playing Goose or Astrolabe here, and I want to play Astrolabe just because you can't Lightning Bolt my Astrolabe, then I don't lose that resource. So we'll play an Astrolabe. Sure. Is that resolved? All right, and then it'll be your turn.
I will go to 17.
Okay.
Steam Vents and cast an Opt.
All right.
Just trying to dig for a threat here.
All right. Okay.
No, that one's going to the bottom.
Alrighty.
Oof.
Young Pyro off the top.
Thought Scour myself.
Okay, sure. I like that.
Got a Bolt and a Pyromancer.
Okay.
And then I will Serum Visions.
Okay, sure.
Want to main phase that Scour so it doesn't mess with my vision.
With your scrying, yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't mess with your vision, man. All right. I like that you're tapping out. I'll be able to at least have a decent turn next turn.
Okay. I will leave them both on top.
Okay.
And pass.
All right. So my hand's pretty good. We need a little bit of help. That was a perfect draw. Now I'm going to take 3. So I'm going to go to 16.
16, 17.
Yep. Get that breeding pool somewhere. All right. And I love this sequence here, and I'm sure this sequence happens more times than you would think, is Goose, get a food, and then now with 2 artifacts, be able to Emery. I just think that synergy is just insane. All right, so Mill didn't hit the artifact. That's a little unfortunate, but pass to you.
Okay. I will play a Scalding Tarn and play a Young Pyromancer.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right. Young Pyro. Yeah, now Emery is not doing anything, which is unfortunate. But how unlucky not to hit an artifact. How unlucky. I don't really want to do any... I don't really want to act this turn. So you could definitely have Dispute. You could have Force of Negation still if you left in any of those. I think I am just going to pass to you.
That's good. I thought I was going to get punished. I should have played a fetch land the previous turn when I was going to cast a Serum Visions, but I didn't reevaluate once I drew the Visions for turn.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you would have had to get rid of the top card of your library that you wanted?
Yeah, which I did want. Sense. So I'm going to crack this Tarn.
Okay.
Go to 16.
Okay.
Get an island. I will play a Terramander.
Scary Terry. Okay.
And then pass the turn.
Don't want to attack?
Nope. No attacks. That is one thing the Emery is doing. It is holding back my Young Pyromancer.
That's true. That's true. Okay, I'm going to sack this. Go to 15.
Who knew that Emery could be so valuable? So we got 16 for me, 15 for you.
Yep. All right. Okay, I'm going to go with a Archmage's Charm, gain control of that. My Archmage's Charms are great against you.
Yeah, that they are. Definitely can't let that one resolve, so let's Mystical Dispute it and make a token.
Okay, I'm going to go with a Veil.
Well, that's gross. Thought scour myself in response, make a token.
Okay, okay. So you have 2 tokens, or you have a token on the
Yeah.
stack, huh? Okay.
Yep.
No other dispute, please.
Nope.
Yay, draw a card. Yeah, that's pretty good. That was pretty good. And we drew just probably the best possible. Okay, so untap. Bobble? Is that good?
I will respond to that.
Yep. Makes sense. Lightning bolt.
I am going to actually fetch shock, go to 13,
Okay.
and sinkhole it, because I don't have a bolt.
All right. All right.
So I'm at 13. I'm going to get another token.
That is going to happen. Now I got a nice turn.
You can continue while I figure out how to delve.
Okay.
We got 3 lands that we can definitely throw away, and then Ashiok and the click. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with a Mystic Sanctuary. I'm going to put, I think, Archmage's Charm back. Yeah, let's put Archmage's Charm back and go with Urza. Get one of these. And now I can't draw this and actually use it still, so I might as well use my mana. Emery. Oh, wait, this does mill me, huh? Maybe that's still okay. I mean, I still needed the land to do it anyways. I want to get Emery in play, so it's kind of awkward there, but I had to play this land anyway, so it's not super bad. All right, and God, can I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Yeah, all right. I'll adapt for it.
You have 6 spells?
Yeah. These.
Rebuke, Galblast, 2 Veils, Rebuke. Oh, yep. Okay.
All right. So adapt 4 here. I'm tapped out, but yeah, we'll get in there for 5.
I'll go to 11.
I had you at 13. Was that wrong?
Oh, yeah, I forgot that fetch. So I'm at 8.
All right. Here go. That was impressive. That was a good turn. That's what we call in the biz as nice.
No EEs anywhere?
No E's to be found. Nope.
Okay, well, I've found my plan.
Okay.
And it's play a Terramander, steal that one, get a token, and hopefully I can just race you in the air. So I'm going to attack you for 10 next turn.
Okay, okay. Scary.
And I've got a bunch of blockers, so I'll pass the turn.
All right. Well, I have a way to foil that plan with the Scolding Tarn. Sack this.
14.
It's so absurd that a Scolding Tarn is like my answer to what you just did. Get a Mystic Sanctuary, get a Charm back. Oops. Oops, dropping cards. Okay. So I'm going to put a Archmage's Charm back on top. Archmage's Charm back on top here. I'm going to be able to do some flipping, I imagine. Or some spinning.
Well, you probably don't want to spin while you want to draw the charm.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, so maybe I want to wait on this a little bit. Yeah, I should probably spin first. Yeah, I'm going to put this on top, but I'm going to spin first. How about that? Does that work?
So, yeah, put the trigger on the stack.
Yeah,
And hold priority.
There we go. Trigger on the stack, hold priority there. These 4, Astrolabe, spin. All right, so can't play that anyways. Put this on top. Now I'm going to get a bobble back. And do I want to attack with this? I guess I can't. I need this for mana. So I'll bobble you. Okay. And then I will say go. Draw. Upkeep. I'll steal this.
Yep.
Okay. Thank God that resolved. If that, whatever was in your hand was something to deal with it, I severely punted.
I was really hoping I would have a dispute, but did not. So
sorry, what was your card again? I remember looking. But...
Izzy Delver.
Okay, yep.
I'm casting it, so no worries.
I like that you just call it Izzy Delver. It's an Izzy Delver.
Okay, so this card is incredibly awkward.
Okay. Like that.
But we need to find something here. So I'll play a relic and pop it.
That is pretty awkward. I'm glad I have one bauble left in play.
Also cuts me off of dispute.
Yep.
Play a Delver.
Okay.
And I can't cast a rebuke or a sinkhole even if I draw it. Mm-hmm. So I think I just want to trade and clear the way for this Delver.
It's basically, how many Archmage's Charms do you have that you think you could steal back?
Yeah, I have very few. So.
And I definitely want to block. Well, if I don't block, do I just like kill you?
Do you have Cryptic Command?
No. I'll block.
Okay. So they trade. I'll play a Spire Bluff Canal and pass the turn.
All right. So I'm going to draw 2. I sacked a bauble during that turn. 1, 2. Ooh. Hello. A little awkward now as well. So we're going to start by bobbling you. Okay.
Is my Delver transforming?
I won't tell you. We're going to bring back bobble. We're going to cast an Uro here.
17.
17. I had myself at 15.
I do at 4. I think from the fetch for Mystic Sanctuary.
Okay.
So you're at 17. I'm at 8.
Yep. Now let's go with a goose. Get a food.
Yep.
And we know what you're drawing. Do we want to attack with a 4/4? It's not super worth it to trade for a bunch of tokens. So yeah, we'll just pass to you. Draw for bauble.
Oh, we transformed.
Yep.
That's a pretty good draw, too.
That's not bad.
Okay. I will cast it and get a token.
Yep.
Bottom that land.
And we don't care too much about this insectal aberration, just because we're at a high enough life total and we got food generating, so we'll go to 15 pretty happily.
To 14.
To 14, yep.
And I'll play another Delver.
All right.
2 of them could be more problematic.
Could be a little bit more of a problem, yeah.
Pass the turn.
All right, so I can't make food because of green mana. I could sack a food to make a food, but that doesn't really accomplish anything. All right, bobble you, sure.
Just more clicks on Moda.
Exactly. All right, draw 2. 1, 2. It's pretty good.
I don't like hearing that. Corey's drawn so many cards. It's
pretty troublesome for you. Yeah.
And I wasn't able to establish an early clock in either of these games, and that's really doomed me.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to be mulliganing those cantrip-heavy hands in matchups like this.
Definitely quite possible. Okay, we're going to bring back bauble. I'm going to sack this. Go to 13. I know what you're drawing. I guess it wasn't that great.
Okay, I like that.
Still pretty far away from... Oh, I guess that's not true. All right, so we're going to just Emery. We'll keep this one.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. All right. Now we can bring back Uro. Well, you are tapped out. Luckily, the dispute on top is not in your hand. All right, so we'll get rid of these.
I mean, you could pay for the dispute anyway,
that's true. That's true.
You'll go to 16.
16, draw, play an extra land. And I will say go.
So I'm flipping my Delver.
You're flipping.
Okay, well, all I can do is get in for 6.
I will block both. And I will sack.
Go to 15.
Yep. I don't have a green source. We'll just let these dies. Go to 15.
You're up. You getting like Cryptic or something?
And then, I guess I had to draw off Bobble.
Sure.
I'll Bobble you. Okay. Untap, draw 2. All right, I did draw a Cryptic, but I have EE for that. You're toast.
Yep.
You're just at 8, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So,
Well, this deck seems insane.
It has looked quite good. I just
Yeah.
haven't been able to apply any early pressure, and without that, my tempo cards just get so much worse, and your individual power level really takes over.
Yeah.
I think we got time to play one pity game.
I'm down. Pity game for sure. I just want to play this deck more. I think I'm going to fire up a stream tomorrow with this deck. This deck is awesome.
Yeah.
It really feels like the Simic Oko, where you just have so many other avenues besides, or Simic Oko Urza kind of list, where you have so many different avenues to attack your opponent at. You know, like you have Uro just feels like the new Oko in this deck. It's just another avenue when you're trying to deal with like the artifact plan. You just pivot and you're like, okay, Uro, you know, like
really hard to interact with card that generates a ton of value, runs away with the game rather quickly. You know, doesn't take a huge mana investment.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just comes along for free.
Yeah.
When you mill it with Emery, it's just like you drew an extra card.
A free card that then draws another card, you know? So it really makes sense to me. Whenever you play in a tournament, whenever you play against someone or you lose to something specific, that's kind of what you sideboard to beat, right? Like, if you get just destroyed by a bunch of constructs, you usually bring in some kind of artifact hate. This deck just plays Uro then. Or if you lose to Uro, they may bring in some graveyard hate, and then you win with the construct. So I like having that 2 lines of attack, you know?
We definitely saw the awkwardness of that Relic of Progenitus. Came a little bit too late, you know, to stop anything.
Yeah.
A little bit too early, a little bit too late to stop Emery, a little bit too early to stop Uro.
Yeah, I drew Uro right afterwards, and then the worst thing I had to do was just throw away another Emery. That's the insane thing. Just playing one Emery allows you to, a legendary Emery allows you to flip it on your own. I could have just Uro in my graveyard, play an Emery, flip it, legend rule, escape. All right, so you're going to be first.
I will indeed, and this is not a great hand again, but I do think it's a keep.
Yeah, this one is probably my worst hand, all of them, but it's definitely a keep.
I'll start on a tapped Steam Vents.
Okay. All right, not a good draw there. We don't want to draw any more of those. Astrolabe draw, and pass to you.
Worst draw on the deck. Island go.
Okay, no young Pyro there makes me feel real good. All right, I'll go with Astrolabe.
Sure.
Draw, and pass to you. I have not had some good sequence of draws here.
Okay, now I've got a young Pyromancer.
All right, I will try to rebuke it.
I will dispute your rebuke.
All right.
Fortunately, do not get the token off of it.
Yep.
But pass the turn.
Okay. Yikes. Green. No, I wish. Oh. We're just going to get some crisp-brown food, land, and pass to you.
Okay. Now we're actually cooking with gas.
Yeah, this one's not good.
Let's play an Islet and attack for 2.
Okay, I'll take it.
Brings you to 18.
Yep.
And play a Terramander.
Scary Terry.
Pass the turn.
All right, I'll sack this. I don't like the odds of my, I don't like my chances this time.
So you're at 17.
Yep. All right, we'll untap. Oh, no. Oh, no. Go. My draw steps have not been great to me.
Neither of mine. So attack for 3.
I will. I'll block Terramander.
Yep. You go to 15.
Yep.
You figured it out.
Yep. I found the line. I'll make a food. I'm actually ahead on this race. That's impressive. 14. We'll get another breeding pool. Oops. I'm losing it today. Losing it, I tell you. One Uro here to have something of consistent threats to be playing each turn would be really nice. No such luck. Instead, I got a goose.
Sure.
And go.
End step, I'll crack this Islet.
Okay.
I will also opt and get a token.
Okay. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to have a much better opportunity for this, so I'm going to rebuke that.
I will remand my opt and get a token.
Spicy. Okay.
Might be one of my favorite plays in Magic.
Yeah,
is remanding your own spell in response to a.
All right. You show off.
Jesus, you gotta be kidding me.
I'm right with you over here. We might just be having an absurd game.
Yeah, let's opt main phase, get a token.
Okay.
I don't think that's good anymore. Yeah, you already have 5 lands and 2 geese. I don't think dispute is good.
Yeah, no, not really.
That one's not bad. So I'll play this tapped.
Okay.
I will bolt the old goose, get a token.
The old goose? The one that didn't come into play?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to make a food with that.
Yep. And then attack with these.
All right, I'll block. You can't adapt yet, right?
No.
Okay,
I have
I'll
4 in the
block.
graveyard.
Take 4.
You go to 10.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
All right, I'll go to 9.
Don't have anything for Mystic Sanctuary yet.
No, well, I got some rebukes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really ideal. All right, untap.
I'm at 20 still.
Yep. Emery?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ugh. Got nothing.
You got another fetch land. You got an Archmage's Charm.
That's true. Yeah, Archmage's Charm is probably good enough. I just have a Sanctuary.
Okay. Same thing.
I'll definitely take that and pass to you.
Well, that's awkward. So I was going to adapt this turn.
You still can. I won't stop you.
God. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Grab this islet.
Sure. Emery is going to hold down the home, too. Hey, don't worry. My hand is still terrible.
So, yeah, and now you've got the Emery to the block, so I don't want to trade away the Pyromancer because your Emery is not particularly good.
Yeah, it's actually particularly terrible.
Yeah. I do think I want to get some damage in. I can... See, you have 2 spells in the graveyard, 2 rebukes, and you'll have a 3rd after the... So you're going to be able to adapt to the Pteramander anyway. I'm definitely going to attack with these.
Okay, I'll block these 2.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to adapt and just try to deal 7 and put you into bolt range.
Oh, you're... Yeah, I mean, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll go to 2.
Yep.
Okay.
I lose a token.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
All right, I will sack a food.
5.
Go to 5, and I think I want to make a food. Yeah, we'll sack and make a food. Untap.
Okay.
Well, I think I want to just do this while you're tapped out. I mean, I guess you could have force now. That is the kind of awkward situation here.
Force is going to get you regardless, right? You'd actually rather have me pitch card.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. All right, I'll do it now. Gain control of that. We'll play a land. And, well, I better gain some life right now. I'll gain 3.
Okay, you're
Go
at
to
8.
Yep, your turn.
Okay.
Can't believe this game is close. I've drawn like no spells. I didn't even draw this charm the first time.
I know. Don't worry, I've drawn 11 lands, so.
I love that.
Okay, well, we have another Pteramander, which is at this point a little awkward. I don't think it's in our interest to keep attacking, so I will pass a turn.
I will sack this. I'll go to 7. I will put this charm back on top.
I'm dead.
At one point, I kept an opener of 2 Astrolabes and like a rebuke. So like not good. I drew 5 lands in a row. I'm like, okay, I'm dead. And then I drew a rebuke. Then I just drew geese. But yeah, you drew nothing.
You just both drew 5 lands in a row.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
When that happens, like these Delver decks are always going to be contingent on casting more volume of spells in their opponents, because the individual spells are less powerful on a 1-to-1 basis.
Yeah.
So if you flood, it's really hard to win, especially like cards like Terramander that are cheap can become good in the late game. It's one of the reasons they're good in decks like this.
Yeah.
But you just have such an easy answer to it.
Yeah, Archmage's Charm is really bad for that deck. That's what makes me a little skeptical about it, but yeah.
Well, there are different versions of the Delver deck, and I'm wondering, like, this one was unique.
I bet they all play Delver, though.
They do all play Delver. But the version I'm most familiar with is a little bit bigger. It plays Delver and Snapcaster and Pyromancer.
Okay.
And plays Sanctuaries of its own and Charm and Cryptic.
Yeah, I like that. Because it seemed like, me just having a fetch land and that my fetch line got me out of a problem. Having that inevitability with either Uro, Emery, and still having Mystic Sanctuaries to bring stuff back from the graveyard is just a recipe for disaster unless you come out of the gate. If you came out of the gates great there and you were able to, kill geese and just have a normal draw, you would have been fine and you would have won. But now, if we go to the late game, it just favors every Mystic Sanctuary deck.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But the versions of Delver that do play Sanctuary of their own can compete a little bit that late game. So
that's true.
I played this version because it did well in the PTQ and it was really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it is better than the versions that play Sanctuary. I know Aspiring Spike has been streaming with that version of Is It Delver and actually liking it quite a bit.
Okay.
I think he went 12-3 the other day on stream with it.
Nice.
Pretty good record.
Yep.
This deck did not avail itself well. It's really key that you get early pressure, and I kept hands with cantrips to try to find it. Never really did. And I found a lot of Terramanders. They weren't really able to do anything against Charm. I found some young Pyromancers. They weren't really able to do anything against Emery and Urza. And because I didn't have the pressure early, I was forced to tap out a little bit later, and you were able to resolve your more powerful spells.
Yeah, and honestly, there's nothing more satisfying than beating an Izzet deck in your hand, because it's really just your spirit leaving your body at that point. You're just like, no, come on, this is supposed to be good. Josh, how about we take one question from you, and then we're going to get ready for our second round.
All right, what's the best way to deal with a Mystic Sanctuary deck? Go over or under?
I don't know if it's necessarily an over or under kind of thing. I think it's just specific cards, like Choke and Boil, I think, out of Jund. Like, I think those should be 2 and 2 each. We actually had a BCW versus Lotus Box challenge last night where Abe Corbin played Jund, and he played 2 Boil and 2 Chokes. And we played a lot of blue decks, a lot of Mystic Sanctuary decks, and he ran the tables on us. So being able to have those kind of effects in Jund, those more targeted cards towards, specifically islands, I think is a big deal. And also, like we were prefixing at the beginning of the show, I think Tron is that over-the-top thing that can beat these decks. Going under it, though, I think that's why we're not seeing a lot of aggro, because going under these decks, most of the Mystic Sanctuary decks are Uro decks, and you're not losing to the Mystic Sanctuaries with Burn with these low decks, but you're losing to Uro,
Yeah, that's definitely true. So it does seem like going over is working out better right now. That said, as it is going to be a metagame thing, where these decks started out as control decks. They have a lot of early interaction. As they have to compete against these over-the-top, Tron, Amulet, super hateful sideboard cards out of Jund and the Mirror Match, and, inbreed themselves to deal with that metagame, you're going to see a vulnerability pop up to decks like Humans, maybe even like Infect. If they're not playing a lot of cheap removal, then an Infect could run them over, because Archmage's Charm and Cryptic Command are a joke against that.
Yeah. I think Infect, I don't know why. I always view Infect as more of a combo deck, but, it does still lose to aggro.
It's aggro combo.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So really, it's just right now, I think going over the top is working out better, but there will come a time when going underneath will be right. So it's not this is definitively what you need to be doing against this deck. It's what you need to be doing against the deck right now.
I love it. Great answer. All right, well, that is going to wrap up round 1 here. I took it down with Dylan Donegan's Teamer
Urza.
Teamer that. We're going to say Teamer Urza. Yeah, with Uro in it. But the deck felt awesome. I am super excited about this. I'm going to be doing some streaming with this. This deck is sweet. Next round, we are going to be bringing you a spicy one. I'm going to be playing an As Foretold Crashing what was it?
Crashing Footfalls.
Crashing Footfalls deck. This is a nice Electro Dominance balance. I don't know.
Electro Dominance is the red card. You play Restore Balance as well. You play all the 0 mana cards to hit with Electro Dominance and cast off As Foretold. And what are you really cool. I've actually played it on Versus Live before. It's really fun.
Is it awesome?
Yeah.
And what are you going to be playing up against me?
I'm going to be playing a Teamer deck. But it's Teamer Taking Turns. Lists that I believe top forward. I think it was third place in a recent paper PTQ at a Magic Fest.
Yeah, Wong was his last name.
Yeah.
He is notorious for playing taking turns decks, so it was kind of no surprise to anyone. But it seemed like this one is actually really good.
This is definitely like an evolved form of taking turns.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're playing Fires of Invention, Savor the Moment. We're playing Ren and 6 to keep making a bunch of land drops. Like this deck has gotten a lot more powerful and a lot different from the kind of joke taking turns deck from 2 or 3 years ago. And hopefully we'll get to see its power on display.
I like it. Okay, well, we are going to take a short 5-minute break, and then we're going to be back with round 2 here on Versus Live.